Alright, what's going on? So I haven't made one of these in a while, again, which is basically just what you can expect, I guess. I'm not punctual, and I don't really set myself up to be either. But it's the start of my weekend. Kaylee's out for the next little bit, so I figured I would get one of these made for you ungrateful fucks. So I'm just gonna show you some records. There's not really any like theme to this one like I've sort of been doing the past few videos. These are just some records I guess I'm suggesting to you guys to listen to under your indefinite quarantine. Anyway, let's get into it. Here's what we're listening to in the background, and this is really fucking cool. This is Ill Humans with the Disruption of Binaries. So I've lately been getting really into this sort of like gothy electronic music, I guess, which probably isn't a good way to describe it, but if you guys are familiar with stuff like She Passed Away, if you like that a lot, then you'll like this. I actually bought the CD from the band, and I fucked up my address, so I sent the guy a message and kind of mentioned that, you know, I was bummed that like they were out of cassettes or something like that. So when I got the package, he had sent the CD that I bought, the cassette, some buttons, and a note. And it was just really cool. And I was kind of messaging back and forth with the guy, and just seems like a good dude. This is fantastic, absolutely fantastic shit, man. I don't know, it's great if you like stuff like this, and you can't go wrong. Ill Humans, I'll leave some links in the description so you can listen to this along with the other shit. Fantastic, man. Alright, let's get into this shit. And I already lied to you, because as I said, there's not really a theme to this video. There really wasn't going to be. I pulled out 3 records and realized they were all from 1996. So I just decided to make all 5 of these records that came out in 1996. Yeah, that's the theme, I guess. Alright, the first one is a demo, technically, and it's one of my favorite demos ever. Nocturne Mortem with Lunar Poetry. Ah, fucking finally. This is a record that I have wanted to own on vinyl since I started collecting records, which was 7 years ago, but it was just never really readily available. It was obtainable if I wanted to spend a bunch of money, but you know, I was always just waiting on a fucking repress, because like back in 2015, I think it was, Osmos reissued Twilight Fall. And I don't know if it had been put on Osmos before, but this is the first time that Osmos has gotten its hands on this release. And I didn't know what was taking so long, because I knew it would happen eventually. It just took them, you know, years and years and years. Because I think there is only one other official vinyl press of this one. I might be wrong, but I know there's not a bunch. This has not been like repressed a bunch of times, you know, and just made readily available for anybody who wants it. This is the first time in a long time this has been put on vinyl. But this is the 3rd demo, I think. Twilight Fall was first, and I think there was another one. But I'm not certain. I don't remember what it was called. Now, earlier I kind of mentioned that this is technically a demo. I guess according to the band it is, but this is like right around an hour long, which is, you know, that's a long demo, of course. But a lot of times people just cite this as a full-length album. Now, for me, like I said, this is one of my favorite demos ever. This is sort of like folky black metal perfection. I love the sort of traditional folk elements in here. I love the heavy use of the keyboards. This one is very melodic. It's got fantastic fucking riffs. Solos sort of around on this album. Great vocals. There's a bit of a wide vocal range here. I love the sort of chanty vocals alongside the more just straightforward wretched vocals. This is literally a perfect release. So there's the album cover right there. This does use the original logo, which I did not know that this was the original logo until like 3 days ago. Because I've always just seen the like original LP copy of this, which didn't have the original logo on it. So I actually just didn't fucking know. But, you know, it was good to be clued in. There's the back cover right there with the track listing. It is a gatefold, really fucking cool picture there, and a picture of the moon on the other side. And it does come with an inner sleeve with 2 more pictures of the moon, and there was 2 versions of this. There was a black vinyl and there was a blue vinyl. The blue vinyl was limited to 400 copies. So like I've said, this one's hard to beat for me. Twilight Fall is another release that's up there for me as like being one of the best demos ever. This is quite a bit different than that. This I would say is a lot more epic sounding, and I think that has to be what this band was going for. Absolutely motherfucking bulletproof. Nocturne Mortem, Lunar Poetry. Alright, this next one is a sort of classic record. It's not one you hear sort of thrown around with like the early Dark Throne albums or the early Burzum albums or anything like that. But in terms of Norwegian black metal, this is one of the ones you'll hear about as sort of being just under that layer. This is Old Man's Child with Born of the Flickering, which is a great fucking name for an album, man. Terrible, really fucking bad album cover though, Jesus Christ. So this is the debut full-length album following a demo that came out back in 1994. I think it was called In the Shades of Life. But this was the first full-length album, and this is kind of the one that people know this band for. And like a lot of the Norwegian black metal bands, you know, a lot of these members have bounced around other bands within the scene, bands like Dimmu Borgir, Thorns, Dodheimsgard, shit like that. And like I said, this one is not really thrown around with like the black metal bigwigs, but it is sort of, I would say, on the same level as like the first Ved Buenzende release, for example. This is really, really good. It's not like mind-blowingly good. It's kind of sort of just par for the course in pretty much every regard. There's a lot of really good riffs on this one, which, you know, can't be understated, of course. But in terms of like production, it's kind of par for the course for sort of mid-late 90s black metal. However, I would say that the bass is a little bit more audible on this than a lot of other like Norwegian black metal albums, which is a good thing. There's some subtle like synth work on this as well, which is cool. But there's just sort of a fucking glut of really good melodies on this one, and the vocal range is quite nice as well. Yeah, man, I mean, you guys probably know it. You guys probably know everything I'm going to talk about today, honestly. There's the shit stain of an album cover there. Really bad, like I said. There's the back there. Though, hold on. Though, I do love the fucking, like, foil stamp shit. Really, really nice, man. This actually is just nice quality all the way around. Released through Cosmic Key Creations. I don't know if you can still get this anywhere. But yeah, really nice. There's some more of the foil on the back with the 4 band members. This too is a gatefold. You have all the lyrics and just some liner notes on the other side there. It does also come with an inner sheet with just some old pictures and the album cover again. This is a double LP, and this is one of the prettiest fucking records I own, man. It's perfect for the album cover as well. But yeah, it's like fucking clear with black and purple splatter. And on the D side, you just have a like screen print of the fucking logo and the album title there. Very nice. Yeah, man, I think this one was limited to like 400 or 450 copies or something like that. Super fucking cool, really nice quality, great record as well. But again, I'm not really introducing anybody to anything in this video, so check it out if you haven't heard it. Old Man's Child, Born of the Flickering. Alright, next up is a band from right here in the States, and this is one of the best in the whole world. Granville Isles Key, A Witness to the Regicide. So after the first 2 demos, which was Goat of a Thousand Young and Triumph of the Hordes, which those 2 demos were put together and released through World Terror Committee a couple of years back, which I still don't think I've shown that. But Yeah, after those two demos came the first EP, Witness to the Regicide. And this one was released the year before Mocking the Philanthropist came out in '97. But I would say that this is quite a bit like, it has much more of like a raw quality to it, like very stripped down, raw. The music almost sounds a bit muffled, but man, like the fucking song Mourners Flock to Gethsemane, that fucking riff is fucking gnarly. But it's very stripped down, very simple, very, very guitar driven, even though the music isn't exactly in the forefront. The vocals are quite a bit louder. But it's just so fucking good, man. This band has literally never put out anything less than fantastic. For me, I know not everybody's crazy about Kosherat. I think it's all fucking great. So of course this was originally released on like a 7-inch, but the 7-inch I guess couldn't fit the whole EP. So this has 2 songs extra than the 7-inch, and these songs were not like previously unreleased or anything. Like the cassette that came out in 1997 had all 4 of the songs. And then subsequent like CD releases had everything on them. But luckily this does include the whole thing, and that's why I got like a 12-inch pressing, which is real nice. Again, through World Terror Committee. There's the back cover right there with the 3 band members. Very cool. It includes the lyrics and just a big picture of the band logo. And this was released on black vinyl and red vinyl. I got the red vinyl. World Terror Committee label, just Graham Belial's key label on the side. Yeah, man, this is really fucking cool. I was stoked to see this was happening because I'll take any Graham Belial's key material I can get. And at this point, I probably have most of it. I'm sure I'm missing something. I just couldn't name what. Fucking fantastic, man. One of the best bands in the whole world. Graham Belial's key, Witness to the Regicide. Next up is a band from Finland. This is again a relatively new repress. This is Azazel with The Night of Satanatia. Really bad name for a record, but again, one of the best fucking album covers ever. It sort of has a bit of the inverse problem that Old Man's Child record has. So this is the first EP, of course from 1996, following only a demo from like 93, I think, that was called, I think it was called Crucify the Jesus Christ Again, which we're gonna chalk up to English not being this motherfucker's first language. So this band released that demo. A few years later went on to release this and then just completely disappeared all the way until I think 2011 when they came back with that split with Goat Moon, and since then they've released 2 full-length albums. But this band is not really very well regarded for those 2 albums. To be honest, I've not heard them. I've only heard the early stuff and the split with Goat Moon. I've not heard either of those full-length albums, but I don't, like, anytime I hear about them, it's not very positive. So there are some good riffs and good melodies on this one as well. But this is kind of just second wave standard black metal. Like, there's not really anything special about this. It's sort of just something different for if you're in the mood for the same shit that you already know. I would say the production is a little bit better than, like, I guess a lot of the bands that sort of fall into like the early second wave black metal category, like early Burzum or early Darkthrone stuff. But yeah, it's good, straightforward fucking black metal. The album cover is one of the best in the whole world. Look at that motherfucker. His foot's stuck in the snow. He's so upset. Back cover, you have a picture of these 3 guys here. All the track listing. This was put out through Inferna Profundis Records. This does come with a couple things here. Comes with a lyric sheet with some information on the other side. It is just on black vinyl, so I'm not gonna pull that out. That was also available on red vinyl, just not to me. And I think this is limited to 150 copies, but luckily for me, bitch, this comes with a poster of the best album cover ever. Yeah, man, good stuff. Again, if you're looking for another second wave black metal record that's good riffs and stuff, check it out, man. Azazel, Night of Satanatia. And speaking of good fucking album covers, there's one band that dunks on every other band. Maniac Butcher, dude. Lucan Antichrist. Maniac Butcher is a band that I don't think I've ever talked about before. They've got a pretty dense discography, though I don't have most of any of it. In fact, this is the only thing that I have. But this band had a bit of a busy few years leading up to this release. With the release of a couple demos, a couple splits, and the first full-length album, which was called Barbarians. So if you've never heard this band, first of all, they're from the Czech Republic, which I don't think I mentioned, but this is sort of like just a straightforward black metal band. However, I would say that this band does tend to sort of embrace a bit of a more aggressive sound. There's lots of blasting on this record, and pretty much on everything that I've heard from Maniac Butcher, which is definitely cool. But what I like about that is when this does sort of take a step back, slow down, it creates some really fucking cool, like, evil sounding moments. And that for me is awesome. I love that shit. And you mix that with like the sort of really throaty vocals. I like it. It's cool, man. For me, it's not a band I need to go out and collect every release from, because a lot of what I've heard is pretty similar to everything else I've heard. But it's really good. I would say a favorite song on this one is the very last one. I don't know the Czech pronunciation, but it translates to the Judgment Day. That's one of those songs where it will slow down and sound real nasty. There are a couple bonus songs on this one, just live tracks, and it is well, first of all, look at this guy. What a fucking gangster. There's the back cover right there. You got the 4 band members up top, track listing, and the English translations, which is cool. And it says numbered. I have number 172 out of 500. And I like that this band always seems to want to, like, specifically point out support no keyboards, no female vocals campaign. It does come with an air sheet that has the lyrics both in Czech and in English on it, which is really fucking cool. And there's the other side right there, which looks like it just kind of names off releases with a bunch of album covers and stuff like that. Oh, and I like that a lot of the early Maniac Butcher stuff was all released on a label called Pussy God Records. That's very nice. Black vinyl, not gonna pull it out, you get the point. Yeah, this one's good, man. If you like aggressive black metal, Maniac Butcher should be right up your alley. Though you're probably familiar with it, this band is not exactly a secret. So, if you haven't heard it, however, check it out. Really good one. Maniac Butcher, Lucan Antichrist. That's all I got for you. 5 more records. I didn't show any 7 inches this time because I didn't think about it until right now. But yeah, there's a good chance that we're gonna see a national fucking lockdown soon. So maybe you'll get a video a bit sooner than normal. If I don't die, which I am hoping for. My chronic asthma should finally fucking come through for me here. If not, I guess I'll make you guys more shit if I have the time. Yeah, thanks for sticking around. We'll be back soon. Check the description because there will be links to Ill Humans, and you guys need to show Ill Humans love because it's fucking fantastic. Don't let me down again. Alright, that's it. Thanks for sticking around. Later. Full of sorrow and loneliness, drawn by the night and the stars above.